Good morning, Facebook. Kim Kelly, Service and Parts Director, Audi Hampton, here with your two favorite technicians, Kevin Krantz and Larry Snyder. We had said we were going to talk performance today. That's what we had, put in the description earlier in the week. We've changed up on you a little bit, but don't worry, we're going to bring performance back. We're going to talk about it next week after we've had some more time to put things together. That's a pretty broad topic. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a pretty broad topic, and we want to make sure we give you some of the really key things when it comes to that. And speaking of keys, so we are going to talk about the evolution of the key fob, or the key, and all the different things that these keys can do today. It's not just opening the car. It's not just starting the vehicle. And we were talking before we went live how, if anybody remembers, long time ago, you used to have two keys on certain types of cars. You'd have one to get in the door and one to start the car, and really nothing going on. You could go to the hardware store and get them remade. Mm-hmm. Now there's a lot going on in these keys. So take it away, guys. Whoever wants to talk about key fobs first, the differences, and what can they do? What all do they do?
All right, well, I'll jump in first here.
Absolutely.
So I just have a couple of different styles with us today. This is the latest through about 2017, 2018. We originally started with electronic keys, I guess, back, mid-90s or so. And there are various things that they can do. The biggest and most important thing, obviously, is security. So being able to start your car, obviously, is the number one thing. One of the things that we run into, especially when you guys come in for service, is the key may not work. And one of the biggest things that we always want to look at is the key battery. So one way we can check the key battery and see if the key battery is actually good is to press and hold any of the buttons on the key. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you'll see a red LED. You're gonna make a liar out of me. All right. If you press and hold a button, you get a little flash of a red LED, and that tells you that the key battery is good. So, like any good electronic component, just because the light flashes doesn't necessarily mean that the key is operating optimally. So we like to change the keys, and the manufacturer recommends changing the batteries once a year, and they're pretty simple to change once the cover comes off. Some of these, it's just a matter of once you get the cover off, sliding it out and changing the battery. You just want to make sure that, one, we pay attention to which way the battery comes out, so we put it back in correctly, and then
Is it a special battery?
It is. This is a something that can be purchased anywhere, or if you come see us, we'll put it in for free. We like stuff that's free. And this is a 2032 battery. So it's a basic flat battery that's available. Even if the battery goes dead, you can still get in your vehicle. Our cars either have covers or tumblers exposed, and the blade that goes into the key, that's how it normally sits, and pushing the button releases it. You're able to unlock the door. Of course, when you unlock the door, the alarm will go off, but once you either insert the key, if you have the older style, or the new style key, once you push the button to start the car, the alarm will go off. So how about you, Larry? What you got done? You got the same
basic thing. We have an evolution of key fobs. And still to this day, we still use the actual key itself. And some vehicles still require the key to be inserted, even though you have a key fob for easy entry or keyless entry, remote entry, immobilizer functions, which is the anti-theft system, is tied to the key fob itself. But you still need the key blade to actually start the vehicle. Very, very few vehicles have that now. Obviously, like Kevin was saying, if the key fob itself, the battery is dead, you can't open the vehicle with the remote, you can use the key blade to enter the vehicle. Some vehicles, the tumbler is exposed next to the door handle. Some vehicles have a cover over the tumbler, so you have to remove the cover first and insert the key blade in order to open the vehicle. But you can get in the vehicle regardless. It's possible to get in the vehicle. Usually, nowadays, it's the driver's door only. You can't get in the passenger door, it'd be the driver's door only. Most vehicles, you can also enter the trunk, in through the deck lid or the trunk lid with the key blade also. I'm not going to say every vehicle, but most of them you can. So the key blade still gets you in the vehicle. Something else of note that's interesting these days is that even if the key fob, if you have a key fob like this, for example, that's going to be a push button start vehicle, right? Either one. It's a push button start vehicle. There is no key inserted once you enter the vehicle. So if the battery in the remote is dead, absolutely dead, the vehicle can still recognize the remote and allow you to start the vehicle. Now, in order to do that, we have what's called a reader coil. It's an area on your vehicle, sometimes located in a cup holder, sometimes located on the dash, sometimes located on the side of the steering column. But the idea is that you actually put the body of the key fob against what's called the reader coil. If you hold it there, it'll recognize it even if the battery is dead and still allow you to start the vehicle. So you're not stranded just because your battery died. It doesn't happen that way. It's a little smarter than that. But we have an evolution, the original key fob with the blade. And you have a newer model that is similar to Kevin's. The blade comes out like this, right? And then you have the one like this, which is what we call a Smart Key, which has additional functions, and the blade also pops out just like that.
So they packed a whole lot more into a smaller key now, too.
Yeah, now the key itself is much smaller, but what it does is its abilities are much greater.
So some of the convenience things that at least Mercedes, and again, the Highline manufacturers do a lot of the same things. Let's say during the summertime, the car's been cooking out in the sun for several hours, and now you're ready to jump in it and go, and it's about 150 degrees in there. So if you press and hold the unlock button, you'll see the door locks unlock, and if you continue to hold the button, the windows will go down, and the sunroof will open, and now all that great hot air is out the door and allows the car to cool off a little bit. So that's one of the little convenience features.
Called the summer feature, right?
It is. It's called,
yep.
lo and behold, called the summer
so,
feature.
Summer
Yep.
feature.
So in a Mercedes, do you have the ability to turn that feature off?
We actually do not, but you have to. Normally, you would only push and release the button.
Mm-hmm.
So to activate this, you'd actually have to push and hold to run the windows down.
Right.
And again, because it's a safety issue, if you wanted to run the windows up, let's say you've been out driving, all the windows are down, you jumped out of the car and you realize the windows are still down. Now we press and hold the lock button, and it'll run all the windows up and close the sunroof for you. So these are little things.
Something somebody may not know.
Sure.
That it
Yep.
does that.
Yep, absolutely.
And of course, we have the remote trunk lid release, and that's the same thing. That's a momentary press and release, and the trunk lid, obviously, depending on how the car is equipped, will either open fully or just release, depending on the option. So, what else we got?
Well, as far as opening the windows and opening the doors, we can actually turn that function off. And now, let's say, you never want to say always. We were just talking about this last night. On most models, we have the ability to turn the windows down, windows up feature off. I'm not going to say all models, but in a lot of models you can. You can actually, with the unlock button, you can open just the driver's door. You can open up all the doors. You can turn that, adjust that, change that criteria. You can make it just the drivers or all the doors. You can turn the windows off or on as far as the down feature and the up feature. I want to say one thing as far as the rear lid press. On some of our models, it's a single press. Some of our models, it's a double press. And some of our models, you have to hold the button. And the idea is that you don't want to, if you're walking up on your car and you have it in your purse or in your pocket and you bump the button, it pops the deck lid open. Every time you turn around, deck lids pop it open. So, and not only that, I can actually go in and customize that feature for you. So that if you find that you're accidentally bumping the button and the deck lid's popping open, I can change that criteria. I can actually program the vehicle differently in some of our models to where instead of it being, let's say, 0.5 of a second or 500 milliseconds hold, I can make it as much as 2 to 4 seconds hold. So you literally have to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then deck lid pops open. I can change that for you. I've had some concerns where people the deck lid mysteriously opens. And the reality of it is it's fumbling around in your
In the
pocket or in
pocket,
your purse,
yep.
and all you gotta do is bump it. You know, the buttons are recessed somewhat, but not much. Not much. So it's easy to do that. So I can change that criteria.
All right. Well, 1,000,001 adjustments on the vehicle.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
Something I had heard about keys, and I tell clients this all the time, and maybe we could talk about it a little bit. If you park your car in the garage, you never want to leave your key in the car. And why is that?
Well, good point, because we do see cars towed in for this, usually towed in because the battery's dead. And we have a couple different things. Our older cars, which would have an older version style key, if you leave the key in the car, and I'm sure Audi's the same way, electronics love to wake up and communicate with the key, and since it's within reach of the car, being inside the car, it will talk to the control modules for a couple minutes, and then it doesn't see an issue, then it goes back to sleep. Then the car goes through a internal check, and it sees the key in the car and wakes back up, talks to the key, nothing's going on, goes back to sleep. So over a period of a day or two with the key in the car, it will actually run the battery dead or very low to a point where it doesn't start. So we always want our clients to
Absolutely.
keep the key outside of the vehicle, preferably at least 10 feet or more away from the car, and that will prevent that from happening. Our new generation key, what they've actually done is if the key sits motionless for about an hour, the key itself will actually go to sleep. And once the key goes to sleep, it won't recognize the key until the key is moved. And once the key is moved again, then everything is restored as normal. So if you left this key in your car, jumped in your car, and tried to hit the push button start, nothing would happen because it doesn't see the key. The key is actually asleep. So these are some subtle things, and they put this feature on for a couple different reasons. Probably the biggest one is saving the battery life, right? Because it just eats the batteries up, and obviously if the battery goes dead in the remote, you're going to have trouble getting in the car, one, and two, you've got to probably open your owner's manual up to figure out where in the car to place it, because we have the same thing. It's what they call near field communication. It's a cell phone type charging, and you stick the key fob in the area that it requires, and then it'll energize the key and read the data and start. But again, depending on the year and the model of the car, this is all over the place. So you get to learn how to use your owner's manual, because that's in the command system too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that'll keep you guessing. But that's what we're here for. When you have questions, give us a call.
Yep. Last week we touched on active battery management, and we talked. This is basically the same thing as active energy management. The idea being that you don't want the vehicle and the battery to get. No, I'm sorry. You don't want the vehicle's battery to go dead. So the vehicle is monitoring the state of health or the charge of the battery. If you have a situation where you have two remotes, most people have two remotes, and you find that neither remote is working, all of a sudden neither one works. The likelihood that you have a bad remote or a bad battery is pretty unlikely that they both stop working simultaneously. What you're probably going to find out is that, and you may want to think about this, if that happens to you, that maybe the vehicle's been sitting for an extended period of time, or maybe you've had repeat very short trip driving situations, and you may find that the vehicle's actually entered battery management, energy management. And so the key fobs, the keyless entry function is actually switched off. The vehicle switches it off so that there's no chance the battery can go dead over an extended period of time.
So it's preserving it.
Yeah, if you find that both key fobs stop working at the same time, you drive the vehicle, enter the vehicle, you drive the vehicle, and all of a sudden they're both working again, you can pretty much bet it's a battery management issue. It's not a key fob issue. So it's something else altogether. I see that a lot, actually. I see a lot of people with that concern. So it's something to think about. I was going to maybe take this in a little different direction just for a second.
Go ahead.
Obviously, one of the ideas with the newer style is keyless entry. You have a remote and you push buttons to unlock and lock and what have you, but the reality of it is if you have it in your pocket, you can grab the door handle and the car will unlock automatically. So it's keyless, literally. It's just in your pocket. It's in your purse, what have you. You grab the door handle, click, car unlocks, you get in. Here's something I see a lot. on our door handle, you not only can unlock the car by pulling the door handle, you can also lock the car by pushing an area on the door handle with your thumb. You'll see it as a recess, just a small recess. It's not actually a button, but it literally works on what's called capacitance. It's sensing your skin the same way your smartphone senses your skin when you move the screen. So if you grab the door handle like this and you squeeze the handle and push the lock button and pull to unlock, it's going to be confused because you're actually sending it two commands, one to lock the vehicle and one to unlock the vehicle. So nothing's going to happen. So I get a concern every so often. A customer comes in and says, I pulled that door handle 3 times and it didn't open. And then I grabbed it again. Now this time you're not touching that portion of the door handle, and it opened right up. Something is seriously wrong with my car. So the reality of it is this: if you slide your hand down behind the door handle, nothing will happen. When your skin touches it, and I don't mean pulling on a door handle, when it touches it, you'll see the door unlock. So at that point, you can unlock the car. When you close the door, you take your thumb, just touch that recess. Same thing, you just touch it. You didn't push, you
There's
just
a
touched
little
it.
rectangle there.
Right.
Yep.
And it'll lock the car. It will get confused if you grab it,
Yeah, so
like I do,
commands, yep.
unfortunately. It doesn't know what to do. The other thing I want to say about that real quick is that if it's raining, your hand's wet or the door handle is wet, the functionality is going to be greatly reduced. You may find that it's raining and you grab it, or it's icy, it's not going to do anything, unfortunately. It's the same way as if your hand's wet and you touch your phone, it doesn't do anything. Try it. You'll see it doesn't do anything. It works the same way, it won't work either. So I get concerns about that. I
Sure.
get several. And it's either they're grabbing the handle wrong or it's raining, something's going on there.
So, yeah,
So.
we deal with the same issues. Keyless entry, it's all about convenience, right? You don't have to pull your key out. You just grab the door, pull it shut, push the button, and away you go. But a lot of things are going on in the background. It's when you push that, pull on the handle or push the button, it's actually communicating with the key. There is a antenna. And our cars range anywhere from 4 to 6 antennas, and they're within the car, and these antennas energize the key even though you haven't pushed a button, and you'll actually can see the LED light flash. So if you want to look at what's going on next time, have your key out, grab the door handle, either unlocking or locking it, and you'll notice that the LED light will flash, and it's communicating with the key to make sure that that key belongs to that car. Last thing we want, right, is to allow any car to be opened with it. So
Absolutely.
a lot of security features in our keys, a lot of capability. Wasn't that long ago, like we were just talking about, all we needed was a blade key to start the car.
Absolutely.
Not so much anymore.
No, not
but
so much.
It's like a little computer almost. I guess there's chips.
And it's 100% tied to your anti-theft system. I mean, basically, if I don't have this, I'm not getting in your car.
That's
I'm not
correct.
starting your car. Believe me. I know exactly how it works. I'm not starting it. I can't do it either. One more thing about easy access, a concern we see a lot, and you probably do too, I'll bet, is the rear lid or rear deck lid or rear hatch that you can open with a kick motion or a foot sweep under the rear bumper. We get a lot of complaints, or I would say they're complaints, not just concerns, that it's difficult to get the rear lid to open.
Can
All right?
be. Yep.
Absolutely, it can be. Miss Kim, I was out there one day not too long ago, and I was trying to show a customer how to do it, and I was getting a little frustrated. And Kim walked over and was, we just kick right here, beep, beep, boop. I said, okay, I'm an idiot. So that happens.
There's
but,
Target.
Yeah,
Everybody
so-
doesn't know that. There's
So,
Target.
okay, so let me explain why it's like that. Imagine this scenario. You're approaching your vehicle to get in your car. The vehicle sees that you're approaching. It sees the key, right? It knows you're coming. So you're getting close enough, and it's a windy day, and there's leaves blowing around and bags flying around across the parking lot, and one of those goes under your rear bumper, and it sees it. Boop! Up goes your deck lid. Up goes your hatch. You didn't go back there to do that. Every time you approach your car, every time it's windy or there's things blowing around, your hatch pops open. Like, good Lord. Well, if we made it to where it was easy to open, then things like that could open it. So unfortunately, because it has to be more difficult than that, it needs a specific motion or a specific area. And to elaborate a little bit further on that, on our vehicles, when I really see it becomes an issue, is when there's a trailer hitch back there. if there's a tow hitch attached to the vehicle from the factory, it's actually a bit in the way.
Yeah, no question.
The actual loop, the sensor that is seeing your leg or your foot is above that trailer hitch. Unfortunately, being where it's located and being there's a trailer hitch there, you kind of have to develop exactly where the target is. Where is the target? You'll learn, you almost have to teach yourself where to kick. It doesn't tell you in the owner's manual, unfortunately. And I find myself teaching myself exactly where to kick and then going and telling the customer exactly where to kick so that they can say, oh, okay, now I know. Well, that's what Miss Kim did the other day. You know, I was trying to do that exact thing. I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to do it off to the side by myself first, so I was in front of the customer, and Kim walked over and says, oh, my goodness, you just kick right here, and boop, I'll open it. I was like, okay, that's how you do it. You know, that's exactly what happened. But there's a reason why it's difficult, and unfortunately, it does seem kind of difficult at times. It really does.
Well,
until you know where the target is.
Yeah.
And then once you know where the target is, and you know kind of exactly how fast to move your foot or how slow to move your foot, exactly what it takes, then you got it. Trust me,
Yeah.
I was there before. Like, well, I want this open. Come on.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that's the only reason I know that. And anybody interested in seeing something like that, put it in the comments, and we'll certainly show you some pictures where I think the target is, and you can check your car too for that.
Yeah, and like Kevin said before, you can by all means come in and we'll show you exactly where to do it. You know, we'll do it. You know, you can use a kick motion to open and a kick motion to close both. Once you learn where it's at, you know,
Larry will come get me to show you.
Probably so. That seemed to be
So
a little quicker.
we struggle at times with all of these features and options because they do change every year, and keeping on top of this stuff is challenging, no question.
Yeah. Yeah, we had touched on that maybe, I don't know about the last time, maybe the time before that, you know, the vehicles have so many sensors, you know, like we were saying, they have cameras and radar and, you know, I mean, they have everything you can imagine, lasers and infrared, and over time, since the vehicle is equipped with all of these various sensors, they start adding additional software to allow the vehicle to do more things. It's like, well, since we have cameras and radars and lasers and this, that, and the other, and, you know, we have ultrasound. Since we have all this, well, now we can get the vehicle to do this. Now we can add this software and that software. And in reality, it can be a mid-year change, and I'm not even aware of it. You know, so a customer will come in and say, does this vehicle have A, B, and C? And I'm saying, you know what? Let me check on that because I'm not really sure, you know. And sure enough, they've implemented a change midstream, and voila, there it is.
New features, a lot of times driven just by software.
Yep,
So.
absolutely.
Bet you never knew there was so much going on with just these little keys.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So that's about all the time we've got for today. Unless there's anything else, guys, anything, any questions?
I think we got
That touches on
a
it.
little touch, got a little taste.
Remember, if you do have questions, put them in the comments. We will get back to you. We will answer every question. Thank you so much for watching, whether that be live or watching it later. We really appreciate it. Also, if you have a certain topic you want us to talk about, let us know. And hope everybody has a great rest of the day. There's some sunshine in. Looks like it's going to be a nice one.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.